Morning. It is about 7:30 and I'm on my way to work yet again. It's Wednesday, so 2 more days and I'll be officially off for a week because I asked for a week off before the wedding just to make sure everything was good. So far everything's been going pretty well, as good as I would hope. Although I'm not going to hold my breath because I know that something's going to go wrong the day of, and I'm going to try to remain as calm as I can because it happened during my engagement party. So hopefully nothing crazy will happen this time around. But I wanted to continue with talking about my relationship with Ronald. Last video, I touched upon the 2 weeks that we were together, that he asked me to be official because he was being so available, and I was just like so amazed. I think that dating can be fun if you make it fun and not put so much stress on it. It's just when you get those difficult guys that like to say we a lot and like to make you think that you guys are a thing, but in reality he's not just dating you, he's dating multiple people. And then you get this kind of mixed message like you guys are a thing, and then when you do ask him like what's going on, he'll be like, oh, we're just having fun, right? Oh, we're just dating, nothing serious, right? But yet he's calling you baby and all this other stuff. So that's why I asked Ron, because I didn't want any confusion and I wanted to make sure that I knew that we were on the same page so that I wouldn't get the wrong idea. I'm glad I asked because he asked me to be his girlfriend and it became official. So ladies, don't be afraid to ask. If you feel a little bit confused, then get some clarification. That way you know exactly what it is before you get really hurt. So after those 2 weeks, I started telling my friends. I have a boyfriend now, and everybody was pretty surprised and were like, seriously, you have a boyfriend? I was like, yes, I do. And he met a bunch of my friends, and it all didn't go as well as I wanted it to go. I love Ron because he always tried to fit in with my friends, and he didn't have to do any of that, but you could tell he really liked me because he was really trying. I mean, he never drank. Maybe in college, I think he said he drank beer or something, and he thought he was allergic because he got like a rash, but he never really drank much. And when he met me, he always tried to keep up with me and my friends, and we had a high tolerance for liquor, so he would always get sick at the end of the night and stuff, and it was so endearing for him to try to do that for me. So I'm gonna call this the honeymoon stage, because I know I'm talking like so enamored with him, and I am, but nothing is perfect, and that's what I had to keep reminding myself. I'm like, this is great, but it's not always going to be this way, and it takes a lot of work to make a relationship last. So I wanted to make sure that we talked about the important stuff because Ron was moving pretty fast. As our relationship progressed, and when you're in that honeymoon stage, all you want to do is be with each other and talk to each other, and the top things that you do mostly is go out to eat, whether it's ice cream or hot dogs or like burgers or restaurants, sushi. You go out to eat, you spend time together, and you go to like to the movies and stuff, or bars and stuff. And I slowly started gaining back the weight that I had lost, and then some. I think not even the year, I think it was 6 months. Within 6 months I gained like 30 or 40 pounds, and then by the time we were together for about 2 years, I had gained 60 pounds. So when we hit our 2-year mark, I was 280 pounds. We got together in 2010, the end of 2010, and we moved in together early 2011. 3 months into our relationship, because we got together sometime in November, and me and my roommates had found a bigger place for us, and we moved to Southgate. And my relationship was going so well with Ron that when we moved to our new place, he was constantly in my house. He was sleeping over almost every day. He asked for a drawer and for space in my room for his stuff, which I was like, are you serious right now? Like, I was so hesitant about everything because I didn't want to move too fast, but Ron was just all in. So I was being a little cautious, and I was like, wow, okay, sure. So I made room for his stuff, like some clothing or whatever. He brought over his computer for me to have something to play with. I guess he knows that I like video games, so he's like, try my computer, it's pretty fast, blah, blah, blah. So I did all that. So a lot of his stuff was in my place, and then one day he gives me a key to his car. He's like, oh, that spare key should be with somebody, like, you know, important, and you're important. So I don't know if that's his way of telling me how much he cared about me, but he gave me a copy of his car keys, which I was like, wow. I don't know, it just, he was so open and available to me. And some girls don't like that. They like the chase and they like the challenge. No, fuck that. I want to be with someone who wants to be with me as well. So we're both being pretty open, and it was getting pretty serious. And then one day we went to Vegas for a weekend for like 4 days. Then he got drunk. We didn't even make it to the club because he drank too much and he was throwing up. And I told my friends to go ahead and go without us, and I stayed in the room to take care of him. And at that moment, when he was tossing his cookies, I helped him get to the couch, and he was about to pass out, and I told him that I loved him. And he said, that's nice, and then he passed out. Was I angry that he didn't say it back? No, he was drunk. What got me annoyed was the next day, he pretended not to remember, and I know he did remember, but he pretended not to remember what he said. And then when I brought it up the next time, he's like, oh, I don't know what I was thinking. And he just kind of brushed it off. And then it was funny because he would sleep over and he talks in his sleep. He mumbles. And he would say my name a lot. And he would say he loved me in his sleep, which I thought was so cute. But I would, in the morning, remind him or let him know, like, hey, you said you loved me last night in your sleep. He's like, really? That's weird. So he wouldn't acknowledge it, and it was starting to piss me off because I'm like, okay, what am I doing? Like, I am falling for this guy who is not taking me seriously and probably doesn't feel the same way as me. Maybe I jumped the gun by saying it, but I felt what I felt, and I don't regret saying it, and if it doesn't work out, then whatever. So I don't want this video to go too long. I was gonna break up with him because I felt like maybe we weren't on the same page about our feelings, and I felt stronger for him than he did for me. Maybe he wasn't at that level. But when I sat down with him and told him exactly how I felt and everything, he was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't know I was making you feel this way. He's like, it's just, I've never said I love you to anyone except for one person, and that ended really bad, and I was hurt for a long time that I don't know if I'm ready to say it again. But I do want to let you know that I do love you, and I'm not just saying it just so you won't break up with me. I'm saying it because I really mean it. I'm just really scared to say it because it got me in a lot of hurt before, and I just don't want to be hurt again. So, understandable. Like, I get it. I was like, but I went through something similar. So we both came out of relationships where we got cheated on, and it was about 6 years, and it was both our high school sweethearts. So we had a lot in common with our past. So I'm like, I totally understand. I get it. But like I said, I was gonna be 100% in, and you made it seem like you were 100% in. So like now I feel like I'm outside on the ledge by myself. You know, like don't do that to me. And he's like, he apologized, and we talked it over, and you know we stayed together obviously. And since then, I've noticed that he's so hesitant to talk about stuff when we have issues that I have to draw it out of him. So that's what I meant in my other video about communicating was easy in the beginning, and then towards the middle, during our honeymoon stage, I got to know him a lot better, and he is not that good at communicating. It was a work in process. We're a lot better now, but it was a work in process, and I felt like he was so worth that work. I wanted to put 100% effort into making our relationship a good one because he's so worth it. He's such a good man. He is such a responsible person. He's honest. He's really loving and caring, and he's just such a nice guy that I'm just like, you are so worth this and more. If I have to work on whatever communication issues we have, I will work on it. So we've gotten a lot better. We're coming up on our 4th year, but we're getting a lot better. Next video, because it's getting a bit long. So this is the honeymoon stage and stuff, and how we worked stuff out. And then comes the insecurities on our 2nd year when I hit my 280 weight. And not once did Ron ever mention anything about me gaining weight, ever. I noticed it myself, and when I started taking pictures and my clothes started fitting tighter, and yeah, I became very, very sad. And I noticed that it was affecting our sex life. It was affecting my relationship with him. I was becoming way insecure and fearing that he was going to cheat on me and stuff like that. So I will tell you how I dealt with that. I will talk to you guys soon. I'll probably make another video tomorrow. But have a happy Wednesday. And hopefully it's not as gloomy on your part of the country as it is here. Later.